What is your favorite? And that's why we had to put this sign up story. Went to a public bathroom in Chinatown in LA and there was a sign that said please stop standing on the toilet. Management in English as well as an Asian language, and with pictures. And like man, I get it. Squatty potties are a thing but I had to laugh because it was just not what I expected. Also it didn't work because there were footprints on the toilet seat. Near my old city, there was a street sign that roughly said when translated, don't cross here you could die. Eventually, it became don't cross here, someone already died. Saw a sign like that near a waterfall on our honeymoon. It said something to the effect of, 15 people have died here after leaving the path and falling on the slippery rocks. Definitely got my attention. One day I noticed that they had drained, cleaned, and refilled the pool at my apartment complex. A few days later I noticed a new sign on the pool area gate that said persons with active diarrhea or who have had diarrhea in the past 48 hours are not permitted to enter the pool. I've also seen this sign at spas. People be nasty. I live in Vancouver, where the incident happened where the sea lion grabbed that girl and dragged her underwater and the grandpa had to save her. In the area where that happened there's a sign that says no feeding the sea lions. As a visual depiction. Haven't been back in a while, but I'm pretty sure it's still there. Yes, I noticed the signs appeared there shortly afterward. I'm from Richmond. At the college I went to there was a sign on the men's bathroom in one building that said please don't use your feet to flush the toilets because some dude drop kicked a toilet in an attempt to flush it. I've never laughed so hard reading a sign in my life. At a previous workplace, please do not put toilet paper in the urinal. With a graffitied addition, no TP, just PP. I'm a little confused as to why this sign was needed. We've got a huge sign in our campus that says beware of geese. I've never seen a goose in the area before, but I've also never seen any people set a foot there. When I asked my art professors what it is about, she said they put it there because kids used to skip classes and drink smoke there. I guess it worked. It's just the one swan goose actually. I work in an office and in the bathroom we have a sign that says please don't flush printer paper. Throw your divorce papers in the trash. Now every time someone in our office has to use the bathroom we say I gotta go flush the divorce papers. Back when I was a kid there was a roadside park we picnicked at where a guy chasing a frisbee jumped a fence, not realizing that those were not bushes on the other side, but the tops of trees growing from the base of a 30-foot cliff. So anyway that's how that park came to have signs every 10 feet on the fence warning of the drop. A couple of guys, I know one of them did this in our city at a ramp for underground parking for the law courts. They were drunk and decided that they could jump the hedge in front of them. Broken ankles for everyone. Sadly, they sued and won over lack of signage. I still think dumb is its own reward. The other day a woman was standing in the middle of a shooting range. I think some new signs will be made. Someone pooped in a urinal every block over the course of 2 weeks without anyone noticing. After it was cleaned a sign was put up saying please do not put things in the urinal. The sign was promptly found inside the urinal. Someone give this man an award. At a seminar on new colostomy supplies, there was a sticker on the colostomy bag collar, the part your modified intestine sticks through, stating that the colostomy was not to be used for sexual pleasure. I don't know the backstory but according to a doctor I know, it's disturbingly common for people to catch STDs in their colostomy hole because, I had to learn that, so you'll do too. We have a sign on our fuel island, raised concrete with the fuel pumps on it, that you cannot walk on it to get across, you have to walk around. Someone was going to walk across it, fell and broke their hip also there's now a fencing to stop you. Through my cousin who managed a restaurant for years. On the hostess stand at the front they had a sign that said we smoke our meats with premium apple wood. A small bowl of the wood chips they used placed right in front of it. The amount of people who would take a wood chip and try to eat it were staggering. It got to the point they had to keep a bag of the wood chips in the cabinet of the hostess stand. People would sometimes put them in their mouth and spit it out embarrassed, and try to cover it up. Some would laugh and say I shouldn't have had that last drink. Others would turn around, double down, and try to give the saliva covered chip to the hostess then complain that these mints are disgusting. So there is now another sign beside the bowl that says wood chips do not eat in red letters. Makes for fun conversation every night for the hostesses seating people who are new to the restaurant. Unfortunately they still need to keep an extra bag of wood chips in the stand and people still think they look like a great after dinner snack. Now when the double downers complain, the hostess just points to the sign and laughs. People never cease to amaze. A coffee shop I used to go to had a coffee mug on the counter with pens for customers to sign receipts, and for some reason they filled it halfway with coffee beans. Of course they had to put up a sign do not eat shortly after. We had to place a no hanging around outside sign up because the teenagers did not know what no loitering meant. I work in private security. I once upon a time had to ask a group of people hanging out in a hospital parking garage to leave. They asked why. I said we had a policy of no loitering in the garage due to some issues we had been having with break-ins. Their response was, we ain't loitering, we just waiting around. Was chatting with students in the lounge area when all of a sudden, we hear an incredibly loud bang. Turns out that another new student had been texting while walking to our center's demo room and totally missed the fact that the room's walls are all panes of glass. So she ultimately face planted in front of me and my group. Not the first time this has happened, but this was enough to warrant a caution, glass ahead sign. My stepdad worked at a shipping yard and they had to put cylindrical tanks in one of two spots indicating whether they were full of gas or empty. So one day, the boss asks a guy to wield two signs, one saying full and the other saying empty. This guy wasn't all there and he did create the signs and showed them off to the boss. The first one was well made, full, it said. The second one, empty. They all found it so funny they kept it that way. There is a sign on the way to my grandparents' house that had a picture of a cow falling off of a cliff owed to a car. Because there is a cattle field on the cliff above the road, and at least 3 cows have fallen to there and an unlucky driver's death. Smash burger. Local park has a sign telling pet owners to pick up their pets' feces in several languages. Place was shut down at one point and a tree was taken down because there was so much poop. They now have a police officer patrolling the place. We have a rule at our pool that in the sauna you can't exercise. One man consistently works out in the sauna. I used to go to a gym where a lady would regularly do naked yoga in the sauna. I guess she wanted to do hot yoga and the gym didn't offer it. Not necessarily a sign we put up, but worked with an assistant manager at Sonic who had poured degreaser in her drink and proceeded to drink it to claim that someone had tried poisoning her. And of course upon reviewing the infamous non-working camera system and watching her poison herself, every employee at that point had to sign paperwork stating we would not drink cleaning chemicals. I promise not to poison myself on company property. People massively bringing dogs to the park. Despite of a big no dogs sign, the locals say the sign is too high and dogs cannot see it. But dogs actually can look up, so they should know better. My stepdad's buddy from law school is a judge. Apparently, a defendant's friend once came by to support him in court and went through the security checkpoint. Empty contents of pockets into tray was what the sign said, and empty his pockets is what the guy did. Except inside his pockets was a gram of coke. This dude was so pissed that the police stole his property. You could hear the commotion in the courtroom. To the PD's dismay, the judge insisted that one of the signs saying no drugs, alcohol, concealed weapons, etc. beyond this point be placed right in front of the checkpoint. Apparently this happened every once in a while, and why ruin the fun? Said judge is quietly libertarian and doesn't believe in non-violent drug crime, so he didn't want it happening if he could help it. Cool guy. Big Zeppelin fan. I work at the dining hall at my university and was cleaning the salad bar when I noticed a small fire coming from our toaster oven. After running to find my manager, we eventually put it out. Turns out some guy stuck a piece of pie in there with a paper plate and the entire thing bursted into flames. Please only put bread in the toaster became the new sign. They had to put up a large sign at a local nursing home saying basically don't let people out the door to outside without checking with staff. Evidently a resident, in a gown and wheelchair, asked a visitor to hold the door, with an alarm and a keypad code to open for them, and the person did. The staff ran out and got the patient at the end of the driveway about to push out into traffic. The visitor actually said, "I didn't know she wasn't allowed out." This is a third-hand story, so I DK the validity. No satanic worship of any kind sign in the library. I had a supernatural anti-possession sticker on my laptop. It's a pentagram thing. And the librarian told me to leave. Next day the sign was up. A boiler room sucks. If you close it fully, the maintenance guy literally has to crowbar it open. I'm the maintenance guy. Now there's a sign that says, "Do not close door completely or maintenance literally has to crowbar it open." I'm a high school football coach and our games have a concession stand. The proceeds help the school and the team. We had a guy who started selling drinks and food in the bleachers, undercutting the concession stand's pricing. We asked him to stop again and finally had to put a sign up warning against third parties selling anything during games. So for some reason in my neighborhood, people systematically seem to target our mailbox when they are out walking their dogs. Their dogs need to pee. This has built into an issue, as it has rotted the wood out, and we've already replaced the post once because of this. So put up a big flamboyant sign that reads, "Warning, chemically treated, hazardous to animals." It's done its job, and of course there's no actual hazard. We had a guy near the pool feed seagulls, so now the hotel I work at has a "No seagulls allowed" sign near the pools. Seagulls are illiterate buttholes. I doubt that'll stop him. To deter would-be burglars, everyone in the neighborhood put up "Beware of the dog" signs. Yet, not one person had a dog, only cats. Ours says "Dog is not muzzled after dark." The sign on the inside of the stall at work says, "Ladies, please check the toilet bowl after use. One flush may not be sufficient." At my university it used to be students could only have fish as pets. They also specified that piranha and small sharks were prohibited. Apparently, some freshmen had a piranha tank, got drunk, and the students, male and female, dunked breasts and genitalia in and tried to play keep away. Supposedly didn't end well. I read somewhere on Reddit that piranhas are not as portrayed in the movies. They tend to not eat people unless I misremember what the guy said. A busy street I work on in London got changed from a one-way to a two-way street. I've almost walked into 2 buses on the first day it was finished. In the office we had to put "The main road is now two-way. Please look at both sides of the road when crossing at the front door." There's this knick-knack shop in my hometown that has a decorative basket of colorful beads, soaps or whatever, and above it they had this sign that said "Do not eat." Because years ago there was some kid that tried to eat them and kept popping them into his mouth one after another. I was like 5 and they looked like some dope ass candy, don't you judge me. There was a plaque on a rock in my hometown. I can't remember what it originally said, but someone destroyed it with their car. Now, there's a different plaque that says something along the lines of, "On this day in 1892, something happened." Once, a toilet was so severely clogged, they tried everything, but it was impossible to fix it. So, plumbers came and opened the whole pipe to fix it. Surprisingly, a slipper was found inside the toilet, and no one knew what happened to the slipper to be found inside a toilet pipe. So, they posted the sign, saying not to flush anything except what to be expected to flush. I got bored with the standard chemical safety signage and bought some joke signs that technically comply with all the elements of proper signage but have a bit more personality. For example, my chemical cabinet has a magnet on it that says "Danger, corrosives do not pour on hands." On Drano, there is a "Not for internal use" label. I've heard of a chainsaw that has an instruction to not attempt to stop it with hands or genitalia. Well, that certainly takes all the fun out of it. You have been visited by Rare Dream Doggo. Comment "Sweet dreams doggo" and you will have good dreams. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video, or don't. Either way, have a great day you magnificent people.